You want to know a really strange phenomenon? For quite a while, every year there was a Fast and Furious film, there would also be an X-Men film released. And each of them would be the same number in the franchise. For instance, Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift came out the exact same year X-Men The Last Stand came out, and they are both the third film in the franchise, and so on and so forth. X-Men Origins Wolverine, that's the fourth film. It came out the same year as Fast and Furious, which is the fourth Fast and Furious film. And then, for instance, First Class, which would be the fifth X-Men film release, came out the exact same year, 2011, that Fast and Furious 5, Fast 5 came out. I don't know why this is so interesting to me. I mean, I guess, hey, if you were a fan of both franchises, every one of those years must have been real special to you. What a fun time to go to the theater. But in 2003, where it all started, Too Fast, Too Furious was released, which, you know, may sound like a stupid title, but you want to know something that's even worse? You know, X2, like too extreme for you. That's like naming the sequel to Forrest Gump F2, or naming the sequel to WALL-E W2, or naming the sequel to Terminator Oh yeah, never mind. X-Men in 2000 was a huge success, and it changed the landscape of the comic book genre forever, and was the specific reason for Spider-Man becoming a movie in 2002, which broke multiple box office records. So in 2003, we got back to the X-Men franchise. You might remember when I reviewed the original X-Men, I gave it an okay review. I think the story was fine, but I think it didn't take the time to develop all the characters. The film ran a little short to me, and it focused on a lot of aspects that I either didn't find moving or important. But now we have the second film. It's been 3 years, they brought back Bryan Singer, I don't know why, well, I guess that didn't happen till later. But we'll just pop this in, we'll find out what this is all about. We'll see what he does this time. Oh great, so we're gonna open with something that's even darker than the Holocaust, that being the White House. Here we go. This is the greatest movie of all time! Okay, just to recap, the last film opened like this. Here's the opening to X2. Alan freaking Cumming, a name filled with innuendo, but an actor who can bring some of the best work to the table. After hours of makeup, he comes into this film as Nightcrawler, an extremely popular character who was so desperately sought after in the first movie, only to be cut due to budget reasons. This scene is so good that it almost makes the rest of the movie boring. I feel that the opening scene is the best chance to grab the audience's attention. My friends, this is how you do movies. Also, apparently, Nightcrawler has 2 dicks.
You've seen that Nightcrawler he's only got 3 fingers, or 2 fingers and 1 thumb on each hand, and the same with his feet. And I said, well, he also has 2 other things. I had made a pitch that was an entire concept. It was writing and drawing a character called War Machine.
Oh yeah, who the heck's War Machine? That really obscure comic book hero. Yeah, we don't know anything about him.
Smoky Mountain rain keeps on falling.
Wait, Wolverine is still smoking even when it's this kind of frigid air?
We once believed that they were wiped out by years of conflict with a much more advanced branch of humanity called
Wait, actually, for serious, do all these X people have teaching licenses? I mean, who knows? This is the same school that lets a bystander like Logan watch over the school when everyone skips town. Yeah, Logan comes home when Storm and Jean have to go look for the mutant who attempted to kill the president. I guess they go look for him at the church from Daredevil. Meanwhile, Professor X and Cyclops go visit Magneto. I guess to taunt him about being in prison. The prison set is beautiful, comprised entirely of glass and plastic. Oh yes, you gotta love the live news network.
It was close, wasn't it? Closer than anyone's admitted. I was piloting Black Ops missions in the jungles of North Vietnam where you were sucking on your mama's tit at Woodstock, Kelly.
Some say Heath Ledger as the Joker. Others say Tom Hiddleston as Loki. I say Brian Cox as William Stryker.
Then you, my friend, don't know crap about life.
His presence is so commanding, with every line being delivered with manipulation and calculation. He is the embodiment of a prejudiced man on a power trip. Brian Cox presents the best villain in the entire X-Men franchise, period. He shows up to talk to Senator Kelly, who is fun to see again, and Stryker has a partner. Arthritis.
You enter, you detain, you question, but the last thing we need to see is the body of a mutant kid on the 6 o'clock news.
Yeah, but if this was Bush, he'd probably blame a different school with more high-profile but less dangerous mutants. Whoa, wait, okay, did Storm just kill Nightcrawler? Yeah, apparently Nightcrawler was actually mind-controlled to go and attack the president. While watching the school, Logan finds a kid who has the power to never sleep, constantly flicking through channels by closing his eyes.
Can't sleep?
How can you tell?
Because you're awake.
A mutant power where you never have to sleep and you can stay up all night watching movies? I found it. This is it. This is the best superpower. Here it is. This is it. The school, of course, gets attacked, so all the kids go on the run. Wait, wouldn't Wolverine electrocute himself trying to do this carjacking? Then, just in case you didn't know this was a 2003 film.
I don't like uncomfortable silences.
What are you doing?
I don't like uncomfortable silences.
What are you doing?
Wake me up! Wake me up inside! Wake me up inside!
Professor X gets captured while Stryker finds the secret to Cerebro. He also gets stuck in this uncomfortable silence.
Don't you hate that?
Hey, what?
Uncomfortable silences.
But I think the most important thing we can learn from this movie is don't ever talk to a woman at a bar because she might inject you with an abundance of iron in your blood, which Magneto will magnetize out of you in order to escape. It could happen.
Too much iron in your blood.
Isn't that ironic?
Also, I'm pretty sure Iceman's brother is just Bo Burnham.
With venom.
Everyone seems to love the scene where Iceman tells his parents he's a mutant, but, I think it's just a dumb joke that's too on the nose.
Have you tried not being a mutant?
They apparently got help from Ian McKellen to get a real gay man's perspective for this scene, but wait a minute, isn't Bryan Singer gay? Wait, why are we doing this scene anyway? This is just ridiculous. Practical explosions.
Not be so angry.
Sometimes anger can help you survive.
Imagine being black, a woman, and a mutant.
What the hell is going on here?
In a lot of ways, this is just a much better put together version of the first film with more character development.
Jubilee has been kind of fleshed out in this number 2.
Okay, that's just plain incorrect. But there's better emphasis on relationships and less Scott. Yeah, he kind of disappears for a majority of the movie, but we get more Halle Berry. I guess that's what an Oscar will do for you. Then the heroes and villains join together to fight a common enemy, because we haven't seen that before in a Marvel film. except in 1989 Punisher and Blade 2, David Hayter and Zach Penn wrote separate screenplays and combined the best parts into a later draft with the help of Bryan Singer. It was then rewritten by Michael Daugherty and Dan Harris, and what we got was a really well-paced screenplay with multiple great set pieces. Towards the end, the plan is to save Xavier since he's being manipulated to use Cerebro to kill all the mutants. But really, the heart of this movie is Wolverine's origin, and no, not that origin. Wolverine gets visions to the terrible procedure that Stryker put him through, while Stryker tries to manipulate, being a controlling father type. In the end, we never get a clear idea of how terrible the torture was. It's left up to our imagination, something the Wolverine Origins movie would ruin. But even though they save Xavier and escape on the ship, Jean Grey dies. Yeah, she doesn't make it. She drowns and... wow, okay, she actually did die. That kind of ruins this joke that's been going on for 10 episodes now. There was a VHS release still. That's amazing. VHS, hold it in there, bud. And then there was a 2-disc DVD release with a bunch of special features, and I believe most of them were ported over to this 2-disc Blu-ray. There's 2 commentaries, which may be too many. There's a history of the X-Men, stuff about Nightcrawler, stunt practices, design videos, an hour-long making of, and tons of deleted scenes and art galleries. The deleted scenes seem pretty unremarkable. Makes me want to throw up. There's stuff about the Danger Room, a set piece that was cut again, and stuff about the Sentinels, which wouldn't come back into the films for another 11 years.
Why do you think comic book movies are so successful?
X-Men is successful because the characters are accessible. So I think it's accessible. I think the comic book movies that are not over the top or campy are the ones that do well.
You know, I am getting sick of that sentiment. Yes, early on, superhero films were made more realistic, but that's not why the movies were successful. In fact, it was the bending of that rule that led to successes like Guardians of the Galaxy, or Doctor Strange, or the upcoming Aquaman, or Captain Marvel. Audiences will accept things that are outside the realm of reality. Sometimes, campy is okay, and I'm hoping that Bryan the Pervert Singer will figure that out in his 2006 sequel. Everyone's been waiting for something that will get a little more comic book-like, something that goes back to the age of the 1978 Superman, for instance. I'm sure he's got something great planned.
You'll see, you know, it's one of the most challenging things. I think we've come a long way since Superman, and they did a pretty good job.
Oh, yeah. I smell a rat. Ratner, Singer, a singing rat. That's it. I'm done. Blow it! Blow it! Blow it! Do it! Thank you for watching the video. A special thanks to Chris, Lucas, and Ryan for supporting me on Patreon. If you'd like to be like them and get exclusive access to content and blogs and even request reviews monthly, please click on the Patreon link, and thanks for your support.